Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bombastic. I'm your host, Imani Wilson. If this is your first time viewing and listening to this podcast, please take your time now to subscribe. Wherever you're viewing or enjoying this podcast from, be it YouTube, where you click that little bitty bell, or whether you're subscribing it on the likes of iTunes or Spotify or any of those other places where your favorite podcast is hosted. So, let's just go ahead and kick it off. Another episode. I can say, as always, I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good as well, now that I got that little bit of early podcast business out of the way. This past weekend, I had a great time celebrating my grandpa Lee. Happy birthday again to you, Granddad. Pretty sure by the time this comes out, birthday already passed because it was last week. But we spent the weekend out in Coney Island, out in Brooklyn. Now, granted, it was on a Sunday, gray, kind of rainy, whatever the case may be. The weather wasn't bad; it was mild. It definitely feels like spring is just about here. All of that winter stuff, you can tell, it's on its way out. I know people are like, yeah, but it could snow like next weekend. That's true. And I'm never going to count out just the unpredictability of weather. But, I mean, talking about weather, it's fucking boring. But I'm just saying the time we had was pretty dope. The family, my uncle was there, my aunt, cousin, both my parents were there. So that's always, dope to have. And, like I said, Granddad's still kicking it, still working full time. And not because he has to, but because the man wants to. He says working is what keeps him fluid, keeps his life force and everything going and flowing. So it's just crazy to see 3 generations of hard-working gentlemen, from my grandfather Lee, to my pops. Shout out to my pops, by the way. I'm always picking his brain. I don't know if he listens to the podcast as often. I know he probably does tune in from time to time, but I know a nice deal of close friends and family do. So that always makes me feel good. And then there's me, and then I find myself, just, like I said, just enjoying the space with family. Because, you want to be able to, do that, and I got to go ahead and wrangle my cousins a little bit, because my cousin Kay was there. He's such a damn millennial, on his fucking phone half the time while there, and that's the shit that millennials do. So, and then even you have grown adults that do that shit. That's why whenever I'm out, and I know, no matter how boring or how dry, or even if we're not having a conversation, just like to be there in the moment. And speaking of being there in the moment, we dropped my father and I, we were driving around the city at some point, dropping folks off. We dropped my uncle Hannibal off, and shout out to my uncle, by the way. Just everybody's getting shout outs now early. It's the shout out train, so get aboard, motherfuckers. Choo choo! But no, remember dropping him off and looking around his neighborhood, because he lives in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. So for me, I respect all the old Brooklyn original folks there, because you got a lot of new motherfuckers there now. And I looked around and I'm just I told him, Unc, because my uncle's legally blind. I was like, Unc, if you could see the changes. He's like, oh, trust me, I hear the motherfucking changes. I know about it. Because the crazy shit about my uncle is he's such a New Yorker that you could literally drop him on an intersection somewhere in Sheep's Bay, Red Hook, just some random neighborhood in New York City. He'd be like, yo, all I need to do is just get the X amount of blocks, get on this train, and I'll be home. He's that sick with it. So for him, I would just tell him hey, dude, what's crazy is I'm yo, they got this they got this spa and massage place over here, not too far from you, some vegan spa, and then across the street they have a vegan Indian fusion place, and he's just such bullshit. And the reason why is because of fucking hipsters. That's why. Hipsters and yuppies. So again, I'm jumping out the woodwork, being fucking aggressive in the first fucking 10 minutes of this recording, because a lot of you fucking, and I don't know if they would be the folks listening to this, because they probably just wouldn't have time to be oh, it's not Mark Maron, it's totally not Joe Rogan, he's no Chris D'Elia, or oh no, it isn't any other popular podcast that you can think of. Motherfuckers wouldn't put me at the top of their food chain, at least not right now, though, bitches. I'm coming though. These fucking hipster yuppie motherfuckers are making New York not New York anymore. And the problem is that a lot of people would say, well, why would you say that? If anything, New York's always been a melting pot. People have immigrated from there, and including your own family, and sort of made New York what it is. And granted, I get that aspect of it, but the problem is there's certain core values that are no longer like shared from like old New York. Because I tell people straight up, I'm from old New York. Like, I'm that old school New York where payphones were still a thing. We still use MTA tokens. Most places still had dollar slices of pizza. Grace Papaya was was one of the two only hot dog places before all these like clones and these dollar slice pizza places start popping up. So no. I'm from that era where if you lived in a neighborhood, you knew the people in that neighborhood. Like, my folks that's still in Harlem, shout out to everybody uptown. Told you it's a shout out train. They know folks in that area. They know folks off the block. They know folks as far as the neighborhood coalitions and communities and different things like it. They know the folks in their community. The motherfuckers now, granted, you'll get a couple of people maybe on like a board or something along those lines, depending on the building and any association attached to it, but there's no real sense of community anymore, is basically what I'm saying. And I feel like that was always one of the like main ingredients towards what made New York so dope, is because everybody fucking knew every other person. You knew certain people off certain blocks. You went to school with certain people here, or these folks' parents used to get up and, whatever the case may be. Like, you played sports, or you ate at this person's house, or you went to this restaurant, so they always treated you like family, or you worked at this local supermarket. That's kind of wearing itself down. And I know most people are like, no, that's just this generation. But I feel like even depending on the neighborhood, some folks, like, they really have it as a part of their like thing to be like, hey, well, we have these extracurricular activities or these amenities here to make to make people interact and be social with one another. But New York, because everybody's on top of everybody, you would think that people would speak and interact, but for the most part, people are kind of clicked off. And like I said, then you have fuckers who are all like this all the time. And if they're not like this, then they're all like this all the time. Which also just brings me real quick as well to another thing as well. Shout out to the fact that, I have a bunch of stickers, motherfuckers. Yep, stickers from my podcast logo. So if you're interested in the sticker, let me know. I will absolutely mail you a bunch of these shits among a bunch of other things like it. Give me a list, because pretty soon, I want to say in the next couple of months, I have a couple of things coming down the pike that I think anyone who's a part of an email list would love and enjoy. But that's neither here nor there. But I got stickers, motherfuckers. And hipsters are fucking ruining New York, but they're not ruining New York to the point that it can't be salvaged or you have to be violent or anything like that, because fuck that, dude. If you motherfuckers want to make the rent go up to be like how the shit is in San Francisco, be my guest. Be my guest. But guess what? Even in the instance with people like myself who fucking live in Jersey but originally from the city, we fucked up the average cost of Jersey rent as well, because it's pretty much synonymous with New York now. We used to think, oh yeah, I can go over to Jersey. You might get more square footage, bro. But I can assure you, the more square footage you get, the further you get from being close to the city. And this is a beautiful transition, because this year I have a whole challenge that I'm actually holding myself and anyone who's open to be a part of with who happens to be in the New York, New Jersey, tri-state area. I am going to have what I'm calling the most perfect, or the absolute perfect New York summer. Yes, perfect New York summer 2019. Meaning, I'm going to go to all the major, like, shit that's there. When I say major shit, I mean, like, beyond landmarks. Like, we're going to go to the Empire State Building. Walk past that shit 1,000 million times. Not talking about shit like that. I'm talking about little slices and little pieces of New York City that make it New York City. And just enjoy that motherfucker. Just because I feel like for recent years when I was working a full-time job, whatever the case may be, before I started working independently, my summers were always working in that office, being tired, and then maybe occasionally going for a drink afterwards, and then maybe going to the city on the weekend, going to an event or something on the weekend. But because a motherfucker makes his own hours, makes his own money, works for himself, all that other gangster shit, I don't have to do all of that. All I gotta do now is literally say, like, you know, like pretty much I can pull like what I did today. But I'll get into that part in a little bit. But, you know, I ultimately want to have it to where it doesn't make a difference the day. I want to be able to at least go to say that I've been to X amount of local restaurants every other weekend. I spent maybe about at least an hour inside a nearby park, local park. I took a couple of cityscape photos, you know, without being that asshole that's in people's way, because, you know, people are always trying to go left and right, A to Z. You know, I went to a couple of art exhibits, you know, I volunteered my time for X amount of causes, or, you know, just like little shit like that. Or I visited like stores or places, then like spaces in between that I would enjoy. I just want to max the fuck out this summer. And the only reason why is because, you know, for me, I know it's a couple factors. One, it's the possible looming feeling that I might be moving soon. I don't know. I can't confirm that. I'm not going to really say so much about it because it's still something I'm in the process of working out as far as like relocating and what all that means to me. But then also because I know, and my birthday is approaching in like the next, what's today's day? Like literally I've got about 36 days. So for me, you know, my biggest thing is those next 36 days, this is like my last go round being 20 something. Then from there, I'm one of these motherfuckers to be like, oh yeah, I'm 30 years old. 30 years old. So I'm going to enjoy being 28 now, going into 29 and maxing the fuck out at 29, which includes having a bomb ass, this is me in my 20s fucking summer. No kids, no bullshit. Enjoying my motherfucking summer. Meaning, like, I'd have a day like I did today. What I did today was, and this is tying into the first part of all of this, before I spoke about hipsters and a perfect New York summer. I spent the night over at, you know, at my dad's house, you know, out there in Queens. So then got up this morning, left out, decided to go get a haircut. So, you know, your boy's looking like extra sharp, you know, absolutely, you know, all blessings to my barber who blessed me today. You know, may all his days be as, you know, as bountiful as my shape up is. You know, to where I got up, went to go get a haircut, said, you know what? Cool. I could probably go for something to eat. Did that, then went ahead, saw a matinee, saw Captain Marvel. Gonna get into that later in this podcast. And, you know, just enjoyed the fuck out of my day. Then came home, you know, decompressed a bit because I've been, you know, traveling around since like this morning. So just out for like a good 6+ hours. And then just enjoyed the day. Handled some business. And then attending to more business. And then ultimately then recording. And now boom, here it is. So I love shit like that. I love this fucking freedom. Now, some people would be like, dude, the pressure that you have to literally always, you know, have to be working and this, and this. Honestly, I don't feel like it's work if it's something you are like fucking passionate about, though. You know, like it'd be different if I was doing this shit for like office work. If I was still working in operations, then it'd be like, Like, if I was I put it this way, if I was putting the hours that I am right now into producing other people's work and producing my own shows and podcasts and songs and all this other extra, just content in general and shit, that I would say working in, like I said, financial services or some shit, yeah, I'd be fucking miserable. I'd be fucking miserable, dude. There's no way I could even slightly try to even play that up, so... I mean, you know, beyond like I said, you know, shit. Fucking Ice Cube said it best. Yo, today was a good day. I can't even front that. It was like 50 some more degrees. It felt like spring's just like, yes, bitches. But for me, what this tells me now is I gotta throw all the shit that I need to in the cleaners, such as my sweatsuits and stuff. I need to do that like now. I need to do that now. I need to also, because you know, tax time's coming. Uncle Sam wants his motherfucking piece. I gotta go ahead, find myself, you know, donating, you know, the clothes and stuff that I don't want, stuff that doesn't fit, because you know I'm a stocky guy, whatever the case may be. Because then for me, I need to go ahead and get my whole summer gear together. And you know what's fucked up about summer gear? Summer gear is one of those things where it's like you have a real small window to wear that kind of shit. It's like, for me, I realized going through my shirt collection, I was like, dude, I am just a fucking big-ass kid with so many video game, cartoon, graphic novel, whatever, graphic printed tees. And that's it. I mean, I threw some vacation shirts in there. I'm going to throw another vacation shirt or two in there, some shorts and shit. But I'm going to definitely switch it up. I mean, high tops still popping. Like I said, high tops always still popping. Trust me, it's so many pairs I still have on my fucking to-do list. Like, I literally sometimes will sit and think, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about these pairs. And maybe I can find them. So, you know, like I said, just enjoying the overall element, man. And like I said, business, like I said it before, but I don't want to fucking be so aggressive and fucking say it again, but business is good, baby. So like I said, I just want to share this fucking energy. Like I'm sharing that same energy on this podcast. Like I said, for me, it's still surreal for my grandfather to be like, yo, at 77, asking me about the link, the RSS feeds and stuff to my podcast and my portfolios. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know, because for me, I'm only thinking to myself, it was only but so many months ago, I was still conceptualizing this sort of stuff. And like I said, I see the organic releases, like the last episode, quiet as kept. And I'll speak about this now. You may notice, you know, episode 7 had a little bit of a soft release. You may even tell yourself, yo, dude, typically your numbers, you know, are a little stronger on your episodes. So what's up? What happened? I even had my boy, shout out to my boy Miami V. He was like, yo, bro, I saw your episode drop, but it wasn't on Facebook. What's up? You know, honestly, I could blame it on editing schedule or something not coming up because of something else or just something coming up in general. Honestly, I just wanted to go ahead and let it have an organic reach. And what it showed me is that you guys fuck with me to a certain degree. You guys fuck with me. And for that, I fucks with you heavy, which is why, like I said, I'm staying, you know, vigilant towards dropping the 2 episodes a week, making sure the content is fresh, is diverse. I'm offering some insights on topics and things that are trending. And, you know, like I said, just all around keeping the dope shit going. So thank you for that. And yeah, you can absolutely check out episode 7. I have a stream because what makes it so lit is that you see my Let's Play infused gaming footage infused in there. So I feel like what I can just tell you, and this is like the secret sauce, me kind of pulling the curtain back. So basically, pretty much do 2 episodes a week. Gotta say, the first episode will probably, depending on how it flips, but you'll always have that pure podcast episode. Then the second one will be that podcast mixed with like that Let's Play kind of like gaming sort of element. And that's just because it's all it's combining all the things that matter to me. Shit, if I could have it, but you know, YouTube's gotten so strict, so we may have to do it on streams. But if I could have it to where you had like the sort of live streams of like my favorite movies and shit like that, yo, I would go fucking bonkers because I've got a list. I mean, a list of movies that I would love to just like do the commentary of while people are watching it. And I think I'm still gonna do that. I know on the other podcast they've got an idea of doing that, you know, with some other content, but you know, I'm not gonna go ahead and spoil that particular surprise. I'm gonna just let that rock. But that's enough about me because I didn't spoke about me enough. You know, shit, almost a whole 20 minutes. But if anything, let's speak about something that's bubbling, trending hard right now, and that is sports. NFL, to be exact. Free agency is popping. Now, the boy Antonio Brown, former Pittsburgh wide receiver, went from the black and gold to the silver and black because he signed a motherfucking huge deal to be the highest paid wide receiver in the game of football with the Oakland Raiders. I think it was a smooth move, and the Raiders themselves are actually cooking. I'm not even mad at them. I think the only thing you'd have to fear, and this is for football fans who really follow the sport closely, is that they're kind of almost in the same, almost with this cat John Gruden, almost pulling a Chip Kelly. Now, for those who aren't initiated and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, let me break the signs down like this. So Chip Kelly was a coach, you know, who came from college, you know, had this whole background, supposed to be this like mastermind of sorts. What he found himself doing was taking this Eagles team some years ago, taking the core pieces of what looked like it could be a championship team and tore them apart. He traded people away for small picks. He released some people. He just pretty much took a group of guys who could have won big and just dismantled it because he wanted to just have the team in his own way. And that's kind of the vibe you might be seeing from Oakland right now. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, truth be told, for them, they've moved picks around such as Amari Cooper, but they got a first round pick. So they're literally going to the draft, literally already having Antonio Brown, 2 first round picks, and a little bit of cap wiggle room. But, they're still trying to make some particular moves. I know they got safety from the LA Rams, who were just in the Super Bowl and got their asses cracked. LaMarcus Joyner, he's leaving the Rams to go join the Raiders. So the Raiders Nation, they're doing some shit. And I mean, the whole tracker right now is still lit right now. Like I can say, as far as my media teams, because listening to this, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that I'm a New York sports fan. You got to deal with it, bitch. Oh well, that's just a part of it. Fuck it. Until I get the videos down where I can tell you, all right, this section segments from here to here, you're gonna have to deal with this shit in some capacity. So fuck it, let us roll. As far as my New York Giants, it was hard to see safety Landon Collins, and I was speaking about this, I think, on the last podcast. He did, in fact, sign a huge deal to be the highest paid safety in the NFL. He signed, I think, almost $50 million contract with the Washington Redskins. So at this point, fucking the University of Alabama are featured among the entire Redskins defense right now. They could literally start 6 guys on defense that all went to Alabama. So fucking Redskins pretty much have a roll tide defense. That's actually kind of scary considering that, and this is again for the uninitiated, University of Alabama Crimson Tide, not only are they always in a national championship and have been for like X amount of fucking years, almost nearly like they're just a perennial powerhouse, but they also produce these like great defensive players. So you're talking about an NFL team that could have like 6 fucking members of that program on the defensive side of the ball for one fucking franchise. It's kind of fucking crazy. So, as a Giants fan, it's fucked up because now we went from having Landon Collins to now facing Landon Collins. Twice a fucking year for at least the next fucking 4 seasons. Probably minimum 3 unless he gets traded or hurt or something weird. But, I mean, that sucks to see. But, I mean, the shit happens. Unfortunately, the Giants are playing Moneyball. They're still fucking with my emotions, talking about trading Odell Beckham. Now, shout out to my boy Hunt, because he asked me, like, dude, what is it with you and Odell? Why do you love Odell so much? I love Odell because Odell is a true fucking player of the game. Like, one, he's a weird fucking specimen, like, being, like, just under, if not 6 foot, and being a fucking tremendous athlete at wide receiver, which now most wide receivers now typically 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" in some instances. So you're talking about a dude that's not even like that tall of a receiver, but he's got crazy hops. And again, he's an outspoken guy, does great things for the community, and he's just an overall seemingly cool dude. And it's fucked up because you can tell he busts his ass each and every day out there on that field. And when as soon as he signs a mega deal with the fucking Giants, now there's all these rumors of him possibly being traded to the Rams. Now there's rumors of him possibly being traded to the Niners. I'm like this, as a Giants fan. For whatever fuck reason they're talking about doing this, one, I think it's a terrible fucking idea because right now Odell is like the heart and soul of that fucking offense. Okay, Eli Manning is old as fuck. He's in like his 18th season, and he's still walking away with a fat $15 million contract at almost 37. Even though he's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, he's being paid way too much money to be fucking leaving the game. Way too much fucking money. So you remove Odell, then all you have is a great running back in Saquon. Now you need to get another great wide receiver to fill Odell's void. Sure, Sterling Shepard's cool. Evan Ingram's okay as a tight end. And some of the other cats that they have, but you're getting rid of an Odell. So why would you get rid of your star when you just signed him to a mega deal because of what? Oh, he's a drama queen or this, and this, so he's always throwing tantrums? Because he wants to fucking win. The point of the fucking game, as the great Herm Edwards, former fucking head coach of the Jets, when as the Jets coach said it, you play to win the game. Hello? If you ain't coming out to play to win the game, then you don't need to be in it. So my thing is, if I see somebody going through shit passionately, I don't see it as him being immature. I see him as being fucking passionate. So in the story, it breaks my heart to see that they're constantly fucking with Odell's head. Let the man just be great. Fuck, I want to be able to buy a jersey in the modern sports era, but the way that the sports business is now, and I don't blame these fucking athletes, they have to get money. Because in the NFL, even though they may say, oh, he's got an $80-some-odd million contract, unless that says $80 million guaranteed, you're most likely only getting half of that money. And if you think about it, like, so say for instance, I know one guy, I think Landon Collins, I think he got something like 60 some mil for like 48 million guaranteed, something crazy like that. Or better yet, no, Tyrann Mathieu. Again, I'm naming these guys because they were top big name free agents in this free agency. He just signed with who the hell did he just sign with? Oh, the Chiefs. 3 years, 42 million. So that's like 14 million on average a year. Now he may be able to see the longevity of that contract. Is it all guaranteed? I'm not sure. But if you average that at like 14 mil a season, say only 28 of it's guaranteed. Then now you sign a 3-year deal thinking you're going to get 40, but you're only going to do two years for 28. It's rough. That shit is rough, man. And, you know, as it stands right now, free agency, you still have Le'Veon Bell, who, you know, former, you know, running back of the Pittsburgh Steelers, is pretty much like the pick of the pick of free agency this year, the creme de la creme right now. And he's rumored to join my Jets. We'll see. We just got Anthony Barr, you know, linebacker, you know, linebacker from the Vikings, 4-time Pro Bowl selection and shit, only 26. So far the Jets are being aggressive. We'll see how fucking aggressive they can get towards Le'Veon. Because I'll tell you this much. They get Le'Veon in there, and whatever they do in the draft, it's going to be sexy. I'ma love it. I'ma fucking love it. So I just can't wait to fucking see. So, you know, NFL, you know, shit is still heating up. But, I mean, as far as free agency, you got a couple of names still shuffling around out there. But it's going to be interesting. Wednesday is really when shit will pop off. So, probably not by the time this podcast, by the time the second podcast comes out, I'll probably be like, dude, or whatever the fuck it is. Or if you follow me on social media, which, again, at Taylor Rebels on Instagram, you can absolutely see all my posts and shit in between. I pretty much post every day except for the weekend because, you know, I try to have a life. And then even I still might post in between because I'm enjoying my life. So as far as NBA free agency is concerned, because that's going from NFL to NBA with free agency, it's just interesting to see the dynamics of how things have worked out. Because whether or not you follow basketball or not, or whether you know the name or not, LeBron James, this is his first year as an LA Laker, and it's pretty solid that they're not making the playoffs. Can't say the last time LeBron didn't make the playoffs, because he's pretty much been in the finals almost every fucking year for like the last 6 or more years or something like it. So it's gonna be a little bit of a difference out here now. And what makes that so interesting is because it seems like, in his own sense, you know, not necessarily saying it's just him because there are broader factors, but the NBA free agency is going to be even more dramatic because I feel what's going to wind up happening this upcoming free agency past, I think, what is that, like May or June? I think June, if I'm not mistaken. There's going to be a sense of betrayal coming from somebody, from somewhere. Because right now you have Anthony Davis, who's like the star forward of the New Orleans Pelicans. And again, for people in the uninitiated, like, what the fuck? I didn't even know New Orleans had a team. Pelicans? Why Pelicans? It's a state bird. But either fucking way. You know, there's all the speculation that he could be traded and at what cost. You know, there's rumor that my Knicks want to possibly trade for him. But right now, you know, the Knicks have multiple first-round picks. We're looking like a lottery team because I'm going to call it for what it is. We're tanking. And I'm also going to call it for what it is. We're pretty much fucking up free agency, but we're fucking it up in an amazing way because every big name that's out there right now that's worth shit coming to your team, the Knicks are tied to. Number one, we have enough in our cap space right now as far as for salary cap space to sign a guy, sign a player to a contract. We have room for 2 maximum contracts, meaning like guys who could see like upwards of $100+ million in a deal. So we have 2 spaces for 2 players of a caliber like that. You got Anthony Davis floating around, again, of the Pelicans. You got Kyrie Irving, who's currently playing for the Boston Celtics. You got Kevin Durant, who's currently playing for the champion Golden State Warriors. Now, what makes those situations so interesting are that these players are being toxic as fuck to their teams. Anthony Davis, I mean, granted, he did kind of just say early as fuck, middle of the season, like, yo, I really don't want to play for y'all. and it was like, all right, well, fuck you then. We're going to take you out of the little intro video with all the other players. That was some fucking wild shit. But again, right now, his future is cloudy because he's not a free agent. Right now, he's looking like he's going to be dealt. Like, he definitely is going to be dealt. He's going to be traded somewhere. But for what is yet to be determined. Kyrie Irving, he and the Celtics been hitting a bit of a slump this year, and I think a lot of it has to do with his role on the team because they're a young team, but yet he's a kind of like all-star player, but he's not a leader. Even though he's an all-star, he's not a leader. He's not necessarily a difference maker, he's a difference maker, but he's not a game changer. If you follow what I'm saying. So Kyrie right now, it's interesting for him because he's made some comments basically saying like, no, I'm gonna stay in Boston, but then saying other things like I don't owe anybody shit. And then even on the flip side, same thing with Kevin Durant. Now you're talking about a cat who's an NBA Finals MVP, has won championships with the Warriors now. And in my opinion, I just think he doesn't have anything left to prove out there in Golden State. And the thing is, Golden State's going to have to make a decision because it's either you keep him, you sign this cat, Boogie Cousins that they have there, which is, their big guy, that they got last year, if I'm not mistaken, from the Pelicans and from fucking free agency. And then you have Klay Thompson, who's a part of their like scoring machine out there in Golden State that they're also going to have to think about signing as well. So basically, to put it in short, one of the players that I mentioned, and I know it's been a few, but for the folks who are free agents and the NBA, they're pretty much leaving their team on a slightly toxic note. And they're going to come to New York. They're going to be a star. Their fucking jerseys are going to sell like crazy because them fucking Knicks are the most valuable fucking franchise in the NBA. Even though we fucking suck and are currently tanking right now so we can get a great college star, get a top pick, we still are the motherfucking most valuable franchise. And that's because us Knicks fans love our fucking team. Whether they're garbage or whether they're motherfucking hotness. It is what it is. So I think it's just going to be interesting to watch free agency boil over. Like, I'm watching the NFL players basically chase the money, and then I'm watching the NBA players basically say, well, I mean, the money's nice too, but also I'm looking to get the fuck out of my situation anyway. So it's just very interesting, which is why I said the landscape of sports is just really, really different than what it was when I was coming up. Before, you had guys that all melded as units. No one was getting this crazy standalone money, and everyone was trying to make these teams among themselves to go and, be champions. Now, everybody's either bag chasing or ring chasing. It's like, and the thing is, that's why I said, I would love to buy a modern age jersey, but I don't know where the fuck to begin. Like, I think the only jersey I'm definitely getting for sure, is Saquon Barkley. And that's just because, one, even in his first year, you can tell he's a fucking monster and a freak fucking athlete. He's also from the Bronx, bitch, so he's holding it down. So, again, it's kind of hard to fucking say. And then if you think about real free agency, all of this shit is a joke when you think about the joke that is the major MLB, Major League Baseball. Now, you had two motherfuckers who were big in baseball free agency. They're now signed. And fucking Manny Machado, who ultimately signed like a $300+ some more million deal with the San Diego Padres. Now, you probably are like, what the fuck are the San Diego Padres? No one really knows. I'm surprised it's still a baseball franchise. I figured San Diego sports was dead. I don't know, they still got the Padres, and their jerseys look like shit, but I heard the weather's nice in the whale's vagina, so guess what? He got a $300 million bag, which basically means he's not worried about a championship, bitch. $300 million. That is generational wealth, which is why I said all of this shit that the cats are doing in the NFL or the NBA is paltry compared to fucking baseball. Bryce Harper, another big name in fucking MLB free agency, was possibly linked to my Yankees. Both these guys are possibly linked to my Yankees. But these ain't the Yankees of old who just say, oh, you're a big name, you're a star. Here, put your name down there and tell me what you want. Do it now. We'll see your ass a pinstripe. Shave your fucking beard and we'll see you in camp. Now, they move a little bit more strategically right now. Like, it's been a while since we won a championship, but I'm telling you, them glory days are fucking coming. So, Either way, Bryce Harper didn't sign with the fucking Yankees. He signed with the Phillies, like 14 years for like 360 some odd million. That man, I think he's like 25, 26, so he's pretty much going to be done with that $300 million contract when he's 40. Again, motherfucking beyond fuck you money. That's life-changing motherfucker is on motherfucking money. So, I'm just saying, it's just interesting to see how, you know, how each sport differs, but then you just look at the motivations of these players when it comes to handling contracts, and I get it. You know, they're athletes, they bust their asses, some for 100 games, some for 82, some for 16 and a potential 18. Like, I get it. I get it, dude. Trust me, I get it. But I'm telling you, it's just fucking crazy. Like I said, I don't know whose jersey to buy. I buy a bunch of throwbacks now. I can't buy any of these modern motherfuckers. I think the only modern guy who I'm thinking now on any of my favorite squads I can get would be Aaron Judge and Jamal Adams, because I think they're the only two locks to stay the fuck where they're at, and because they're cats who are passionate about the game and they're becoming staples in New York sports. So maybe a Jamal Adams Jets jersey, because we are having new Jets jerseys. Those shits will be announced in less than a month. So can't wait to see how those shit turn out. Hopefully they look like shit. And as far as the Yankees go, I mean, shit, you know, Yankees jersey, it's a staple. I got my Derek Jeter one with all the championships on the back, so that's no brag. But you know, speaking about, you know, bragging and all these things, like I did earlier today off of my lovely day, I went ahead and went to go see Captain Marvel in a matinee, like I said I would. Now, let me give you my initial reaction. I'm going to give you my reaction and try to keep it spoiler free. I'm going to tell you up front, on a rating scale of a 1 to 5, I'm going to give the movie a 3.75. And that's only being fair because of a couple of things. Number one, there was a portion of the movie, and granted, I know I was moving around, and again, I mentioned before, I don't necessarily sleep. Like, I meant to mention this shit earlier, like, daylight savings happen over the fucking weekend, and I can't tell because I don't fucking really sleep that much. I really don't. And when I do, it's like my own hours. So, at some point during the movie, I did find myself dozing the fuck off. Now, granted, it was a matinee, so it was like me and 4 other people in this fucking theater in general, all in our own little pockets and spaces. So maybe I was a little cozy. Maybe I took like a quick 3-minute nap and I heard a loud noise. I was like, But the fact that I even like had a moment where whatever was going on was so monotonous, I'm like, okay, dude, it's a little rough. And there are a couple other elements that I want to say are the reason why I'm giving it 3.75. Another major one is just the fact that I don't find Brie Larson to really have a very superheroic like air about her. I just don't. Like, I just don't. I really don't. She just seems like someone that's like there. I mean, if it wasn't for the visual effects and shit, it just like she doesn't really give off that she's a hero. She gives off like she's a good underdog, like someone that is like, yeah, because that was the whole vibe I got. Again, I'm not trying to spoil anything. It just felt like her reason for being a hero is less about doing right by people, but more so like basically saying, fuck you, I'm gonna show you wrong. Don't doubt me because I'm a girl. I'm gonna show you wrong. And I'm like, that's cool. I get it. Sometimes you do have to push yourself and be driven with your own volition to do shit. But of the heroes, you almost got a sense like they did it because they wanted to protect others. And granted, you know, she was just like, oh yeah, well, you know, I like we're you know, I'm here not to start, like I was here as a weapon of war. Now I'm here to stop wars and all this other shit. And I'm like, granted, okay, but I still find your motivations to be a little watery. And then on top of that, like I said, the reason why I have to chop it is for matters that I can't get into for spoiler purposes, but I think by the time the second episode comes out, bitch, that'll be about a week since it's released, so you can prepare for some fucking spoilers. I just only have one question. This is for folks who've seen it. You can put this in the comment sections. I need clarity. I need clarity on the Skrulls and their background. I need fucking clarity, because I need to know if they Disneyfied the Kree and Skrull war, because if they did, this movie is horrible. This movie is horrible if they did. If you can come to me and say, nah, dude, because again, I'm not that well versed on Captain Marvel. I know of Captain Marvel. I'm not going to give those spoilers away. I know of Miss Marvel and then ultimately Captain Marvel with Carol Danvers. and even Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and the Marvel family, all of that. But my biggest thing is that I'm just hoping that a few critical plot points didn't get Disney-fied. And I'm not going to give anything away beyond that. Like I said, next episode, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to get balls deep on the next one about that fucking plot line, because if anybody who's a fan of the comics and can be able to clarify that to me, because if that was some Disney bullshit, then I may even have to lower my 3.75. Because like I said, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily great either. It was like, okay. It was okay. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people ask me about it, like, how'd you like it? I'm like, it was okay. Like I said, it was a good, okay sci-fi movie. That I think was a good superhero movie? Not really. I understand the whole, because there was an element where she kind of has to remember who she is. But I feel like even those, like, remembering who she was very, it just seemed very clunky the way that they were throwing certain things in there. Like, even how she got her powers and all those little things. So, you know, like I said, it seemed like there were a lot of plot devices thrown in there all which way, but I'm not gonna shit on it. I'm not gonna fucking shit down its fucking leg. I'm not gonna piss in its fucking cereal any other terrible derogatory way, because, and I gotta say this shit, and if this applies to you, I'm sorry, dude, person, ma'am, you know, whatever, you know, you may choose to be represented by, but it's no need to fucking shit and dunk on the movie. It isn't. Like, fucking trolls kill me. Like, granted, I know the actress made some remarks about, you know, triggered white males not liking the, you know, certain elements of the movie and her being a feminine lead and blah, 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 and all this other shit. And I get it. Those fuckers exist. I've watched what they've done with Black Panther. You can always catch them in anything Black Panther related in the comment section. Go, well, the movie was overrated anyway. I'm like, overrated to who, bitch? You, motherfucker? Fuck you and your fedora. Like, at the end of the day, if somebody liked the shit, they liked the shit. So if people love Captain Marvel, let them love it. I didn't love it. It was okay. Is it worth you seeing it in theaters? Sure. You see it and figure it out. Will little girls everywhere look up and be like, I want to be Captain Marvel for Halloween? Yo, yeah, motherfucker, you can believe that shit. Because like I said, I also felt like it also borrows some derivatives from like Wonder Woman as well. And I get it that Wonder Woman's an iconic character, so you can't put them in the same fucking wheelhouse. But I feel like they try to take some elements of like, you do it because you're a shero, you're the weapon, you're this, and I'm like, and cool, that's dope. That's dope. I'm a feminist too, and I'm dead ass about that. But, you know, for all of what it's worth though, bro, if you're gonna heavy hand me with the messaging, with, you know, which should just be a very fun sci-fi superhero movie, cool. But my thing is, unless that's written into her backstory and that those are like parts of things that she was challenged by, then your plot devices, her motivations, it's a little sloppy to say the very least. So, like I said, we'll have to fucking see. But I say just see the fucking movie. See the movie, come up with your own takes upon it. Did it have some funny moments? Yeah. Did it have many? At least not for me, no. But like I said, it was interesting. Fight sequences were okay. Like I said, it was just a generally okay movie. I'd have to say of an intro film for Marvel, I would say probably the weakest. Probably the weakest. You know, I would say next to it, as far as origin movies that were kind of weak, this would be the weakest, and then right above that would be like Ant-Man. Because I didn't think Ant-Man was necessarily all that great either. That's why I didn't see the second one. And, you know, so, like I said, see it because, like most people are saying, and these fucking dickheads online say, people are only going to see it because it's connected to Infinity War Endgame. Okay, motherfucker, your point. Let them see it. Stop being, like, my thing is this, let people enjoy shit. Life is fucking short. If people want to go ahead and experience some escapism for an hour and a half or 2 hours of some glowing little white woman from outer space, go ahead. Do it, bro. But other than that, don't be this guy like, and this is why it's terrible, and this is why I'm not going to view Disney movies anymore, and this is why Marvel is, I'm like, shut up. Fuck, man. Because again, you fuckers rally over stupid shit like this, but serious matters of the world, you're over here with your thumbs up your ass on your Nintendo Switch playing fucking Call of the Wild. So fuck you, shut up. Otherwise, Speaking of other matters out there that are wild and things that I checked out, so American Gods Season 2 finally premiered after it initially had come out about 2 years ago on Stars. And this is a series based off of the Neil Gaiman graphic novel American Gods. And I can say Season 2, my thoughts on it. And maybe it's the sleep. Maybe it's the fact that I'm feeling just extra critical. Or just, I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm not even feeling critical. I'm like Mr. Matinee in this bitch. I'm very chill. Like, I feel like I could fuck around and have like my own straw hat, a white shirt and just be chilling and shit. And some like, light pants or something. But, I mean, honestly, it too felt like the opening, like for a season opener, it felt a little convoluted a little bit. And the thing is, I think what made it feel so weird is that you can tell the elements from these new showrunners, because the previous showrunners from last season, who did a fan-fucking-tastic job of season 1 and it's setting the tones and the way the story transitions go, because it is literally like visually, it's some shit to be seen. The story, you may be like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Because I was watching my pops, and the whole time, like, you could tell he was into it, but I could just tell he's just like, yo, what the fuck is actually going on? So I could tell certain elements of the like storytelling are like different, because then they would have their narration from Mr. E Beast, and then like the transition into a story, which then envelops further into a story, which then paints into the broader story at hand. So those transitions felt very heavy-handed, whereas in the first season they were pretty organic. So you could tell the new showrunner are trying to do their best to keep to the tonality of the series, but at the same time it would be nice if they at least kept to it, but then at least do it their own way. Whereas I feel like they're just doing their best to try to replicate those transitions and those stories within a story. But needless to say, characters still dead on. Sweeney is still fucking hilarious. Fucking Mrs. Moon is just like, is it fucked? And you know what? I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm gonna say this for anybody who did watch episode 1 of season 2. Is it just me, or are you starting to actually sympathize with Mrs. Moon? Because if you think about her, like the hand she's dealt, like her fate, like her fucking fate. Like, I understand she's a piece of shit, but when you see even just a small little glimpse of what her like outcome is down the line, you're like, yo, like, son, you're pretty fucked. Like, the funny thing is, I don't think I've ever seen a character this fucked since like Theon in Game of Thrones, which I'm gonna touch on that, in a little bit, Game of Thrones, and I'm gonna bring the whole media bit home, but like I feel like maybe they're trying to give Mrs. Moon some sort of like humanity in this, because the last season you could tell like she was just like, yo, fuck humanity, fuck being alive, fuck this whole thing. And then from there, not to spoil too much, now it's like, yo, I fucking love the shit out of my husband now that I think about it. So I'm just like, so it's just interesting to see what they're trying to form with her. And then, of course, this war, which, I mean, to pretty much give a brief synopsis of American Gods, is pretty much a bunch of old gods versus new gods, and their battles of maintaining worship and survivability in a modern world. So you got the old gods, like, just, I don't want to spoil any particular characters, but that's pretty much the premise. You have the old idols from their own respective systems of belief incarnated and actually walking among the world, and are having a battle with the more modern gods. So like media, technology, a figure known as Mr. World, who's behind all of the events that are happening in the world today, because those are the things that have your everyday person's attention and have the everyday person's like energies and worship, if you will. Whereas these old gods are like, people used to sacrifice lambs and goats to me now, but instead they sit in front of the fucking television and do this and this and blah blah blah. So it's interesting to see that dynamic. It's got its polytheistic themes and stuff like that going on. I just think it's really fucking dope. So hopefully this first, episode, which I thought, again, was a little all over the place, but trying to, bring us back to old times. hopefully they're able to go ahead and bring this shit home. I mean, the way they ended it off, you can tell they're trying to bring this shit home. I'm curious to know how many episodes this season 2 is. I think it may be 10, where I think the first season was about 8. It could be 10 to 12. I could be wrong, but hopefully it's strong. Like I said, I have faith in the cast, because the cast, you can tell, are fucking passionate about it. It's just the writing and the showrunners, they just need to make sure they keep it tight. Because like I said, I think more than anything, just the older I get, the more something just isn't interesting to me, the more it's like, I'm out of this. Like, I'm checked all the way the fuck out. So, hold on for a second. I gotta go ahead and stop mid podcast. Tell somebody fuck off real quick. This is gonna be funny because it's someone that follows this shit. Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna send this over to him, and then over to him. Trigger warning. But no, fuck. Let's see, me being a piece of shit. Now I'm gonna fucking totally miss my fucking placement. So American Gods season 2 episode 1. It's pretty good. I look forward to the season and seeing how everything comes together. So, ultimately from there, it'll be interesting to see how all that develops. Fucking Game of Thrones final season starts April fucking 14th. They've already shown that the average runtime for episodes is at least 57 minutes, to the final 2 fucking episodes being 80 fucking minutes. Bitch, I'm letting you know, those 2 episodes, don't call me about nothing. Don't ask me about shit. No, I'm not fucking online. No, I'm not doing none of those things, bitch. I am taking this moment in. I don't think I've been this committed to a show in a long time. So yes, bitch. Yes, those last 2 80-minute episodes, popping. That's a fucking movie. So yes, we in there. Can't wait for April 14th, motherfucker. But in any event, let me try to go ahead and breeze through this very swift section of gaming, because like I mentioned last time around, Devil May Cry 5 is out, and did I get it? Do I care? No and no. But it is available on, I think, all platforms except for Switch. I don't know if that shit's on Switch, which is why I always am up in arms about the Nintendo Switch. I love Nintendo. I really do. But you gotta have more fucking AAA titles on your platform, because otherwise, what the fuck are we doing? So, Devil May Cry 5 is out right now, if that matters to you. So Apex Legends, like I said, is rocking right now. I call it the current new king of fucking Battle Royale games. It's the only Battle Royale game I like. So what else? I mean, is it fucked up to say that maybe we're a bit spoiled? I know they just dropped the Havoc gun, and they're looking to balance one of their weapons known as the Wingman, which is pretty much like a pocket pistol that works as like a pocket sniper and a fucking hand cannon. But beyond balancing and, adding a new gun, it's like, what else is there going to be? Are we going to get another character? Are we going to get additions to the map? Are we going to have season pass information? Are we going to have seasonal challenges? Like, what are we going to do now? It's fucking March. I'm feeling like maybe Apex has something up their sleeves in like another week, 2 weeks tops, but they gotta have something. Maybe that's just the world we live in now, where we constantly have to be entertained and engaged. So we'll see. But right now, I'm feeling like it is a little on the stale side. But so many times I keep dropping in and being excited. I'm more excited because I know several things about it. I pretty much suck ass in Apex for what it's worth, and my team carries me. I know that. But for the most part, I just have fun with my fucking drop team. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck. I just don't. I don't give a fuck. Overwatch news. Overwatch is one of my favorite fucking games, man. Even though it can piss me off, and it has literally, I'm going to say on record, I'm going to put this officially on record, the worst fucking gaming community that I've ever fucking witnessed. There are some updates currently about the new hero, Baptiste. Okay? His ult has been changed. But not like you think. They simply changed the color of how it fucking appears. I believe it was once showing up blue, like all friendly shields and barriers do come up as. I believe his specifically is green. So I think that probably gives, the opposing team focus beyond the other enemy, or pretty much gives you focus beyond your friendly barriers, which would be blue. So his would then be masked as blue as well. So his are currently green. So that's it. That's the only news of Baptiste. Still no idea of a release date. Probably will be by the time this podcast comes out, I'd probably say Baptiste could be out anywhere from next Tuesday to the Tuesday after, but I know he's definitely going to be out before April, so give him about another week, 2 weeks tops. They still need to work out some kinks, make sure he's balanced, and all the character changes that they're making to like Junkrat and others all sort of balance out. And this whole GOATS comp bullshit of running 3 supports and 3 tanks fucking ends. But, I mean, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure after this, I'll go on comp. I'll get a little loose. I'll get a little wild. But that's just my style. Then, from there, speaking of games, PlayStation Plus for fucking March this fucking month. Probably the best fucking PlayStation Plus offerings that I can probably say in years. Because number one, you got fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered and The Witness for fucking free. Now, the COD may be a little it's their like second COD game they released for free in like the last 3 months or so. But still, it's a COD game. More shooters, online free. And yeah, this one doesn't have, fuckers running on walls and drones and robots and all that dumb shit like Black Ops 3 does. It's just old-fashioned, good old-fashioned, passionate ass whooping. Getting your shoes, coat, and your hat tooken. So I can't fucking wait to jump back in that bitch. Downloaded it ASAP. Can't wait to jump into it. The Witness, I love fucking puzzle games. I love it. And it's fucking kind of eerie and cool looking as shit. I say eerie because it looks like this very lovely, bright, and docile island, but you could tell it's just got weird, like mysterious undertones to it. So I like it. I can't wait to fucks with it. So it's probably the best one on fucking record. So I'm excited to be able to dive into those fucking free games for this month. And you best believe your ass. Excuse me, here's our sign in. Best believe your ass. I'm gonna check those out and definitely do a couple of videos on them. So like I said, we gonna get wild. But as I bring it home, I gotta speak about some wild shit I've seen on the fucking internet. Now this isn't a big thing, so we're gonna close out on time, as usual. I see on Instagram, live from the comment section, this is what this is. We got clout bots now? Clout bots. So I don't know if you've seen this at Hackney and at Yogi bullshit on Instagram. So in the short of it, if you go under a specific post and put something in the comments, anything in the comments, you could put something down there like one of my favorite sayings now is Amelia Clark is the human embodiment of what cheesecake tastes like, which I think is just divine, and Amelia Clark is delicious. But the thing is, if I were to put that and then put at Hackney and or at Yogi and put that shit on Instagram, that comment would get like 600, 700, 900,000 fucking likes from like random robots on Instagram that just insta like that shit. But my thing is, people are having fun jerking themselves off with it just to be like, hi, I said this and look, I got all of these. Like, I can see if that generated followers to you. I don't know if it does or not, but it's just still kind of fucking weird to just see people like having fun with the bot. So I'm just like, really? Is this what the fucking comment section has come down to? We're having fun putting stupid comments down, but we know that bots are going to auto-like and generate the shit, so we're just having fun on the internet. Just saying and doing dumb shit, so I don't know, motherfuckers. You motherfuckers need to get a hobby. That's why I say among all this gaming, that's why I said at the beginning of this shit, I'm going to have a fucking fantastic summer because that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like I said, 2 fucking podcasts a fucking week. I got a top secret music video project dropping fucking next month. I can't wait for you to fucking hear it, see it, all the good shit, all about it. And like I said, like I told folks earlier, in my own spare time, dropping a major project every fucking quarter. So shit's going to be fucking lit. And I'm just having a great time right now. And like I said, I love the feedback from you guys, and I want to see the comments. Love all the comments that have been dropping in the comment section. So from anything I covered now, anything I might have missed, anything you might have deemed interesting, holla at me, let me know. I'm curious to know what's going on and all things in between. So this has been another episode of the Bombastic Podcast. I'm your host, Imani Wilson. Thank you for listening to this podcast, viewing this video. If you like what you've seen and or heard, feel free to subscribe on the platforms in which you listen to your podcast and view your podcast, such as YouTube, and hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button as well on iTunes, Spotify, and all those other spaces in between. Like I said, leave a review and or comment, and trust me, I'll see it and I'll get back to you. So have a good one, and I'll see you guys soon. We out. Peace.